think many of us were toggling back and forth from, I know I was, from conservative media in the US to liberal media in the US to Canadian media to social media. And when we began to see the celebration videos starting to circulate, many of them were Canadians, whether it was the professor at University of Toronto or the social worker, legal aid worker in British Columbia, celebrating the death of a man because they disagreed with him politically and perhaps just hated how effective he was on the campuses. And now the response to that, where many of these individuals are losing their jobs, it's like the shoes on the other foot for such a long time. You are a prime example, seeing prominent conservative voices that speak against the grain being canceled. Your thoughts on what's unfolding right now?
Well, this is an important shift. For instance, when John F. Kennedy was killed, and he was on the left side of the spectrum, other than he had some pretty solid uh, center right fiscal policies, nobody rejoiced. There was no cheering. There was no, you couldn't, even if you could find websites, which you couldn't that day, there was nobody on the other side politically who was publicly rejoicing about that. This is, I'll say, relatively new, where people are bold faced enough to be seen, as we saw with so many, especially Gen Z, so many of them cheering, cackling, howling with delight. That's somewhat new, and it's ominous. It has to be turned around. But when you have so called thought leaders, we can debate that, like the professor at U of T, like the cabinet minister in Manitoba, openly appearing to exult, to be happy about that. This is a new phenomenon that has to be pushed back.
Yeah, and of course, the chilling response. Somebody on social media, talking about Danielle Smith, insinuating that she should be next. And so this is, very, very real. It's a huge conversation.